with another banging reaction video. If you guys enjoy the content, please drop a like, drop a sub. I appreciate it very much. You know, I see the love and support from you guys. I appreciate that too, but I don't want to waste your time. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. Bruce do school punishments. Okay, let's go.
Alright, now I don't know about you. Now I don't know about you guys, but I feel like school discipline these days is a little lackluster. Now I grew up in the 90s, and by no means am I saying that our school punishments were the worst. I mean, we can't compete with those kids in the 40s that were getting hit with...
Ooh, yeah, I've heard about that, you know. Have you had like grandparents, or like, depending on the age, parents who've shared stories? Like, I've heard stories about this.
Wooden paddles and burned with cigarettes or whatever the hell happened back then. But it seems like these days, a teacher can't even yell at you if you're running in the...
Yeah, the cane, that's what it is.
Now, little Aiden, let's not run. Can we use our walking feet now, please?
Yeah, I feel like nowadays teachers do get like disrespected left, right, and center. Like, I know when I was at school, you know, I'm Gen Z, you know, I'm 18, you get what I mean. I know when I was at school, you know, I'm trying to think, when did I leave school? Like, yeah, I know when I was at school about 2 years ago now. You know, teachers were getting clowned on, you get what I mean? Like, there'll be students roasting the teachers, there'll be students just not listening, disrupting, you know. I can't help but sympathize with them.
Hell, if a teacher saw us running in the hallway back in the day, they'd be liable to huck a fucking loafer at the back of your head. Stop!
That's what I mean, but now they can't do anything. But I know that in certain schools, I think the teachers are trained so they can like restrain students, but I think that's just the worst schools.
Running in the hallway, damn it! What do you think this is, a Kmart? You can't just do whatever you want in here. So today I'd like to go over some of the school punishments that were fairly popular back in my day. And we'll start off with something light. We'll start off with a little game that we used to play called popcorn. And how you played popcorn was, the teacher would arbitrarily pick a child to read out loud to the class, and if you weren't paying attention and you didn't know where we were at in the book, well, your little attention deficit ass had to stand up like an idiot for the rest of the time. So you'd be sitting there with your weekly reader,
bro, imagine.
paranoid as hell, waiting for the teacher to call on your ass at any second. The internet will be everywhere like crack cocaine in the 80s.
I can't lie, you know, I'm not a bad reader, you know. But I can't lie. When I was in school, I fucking hated having to read out loud in front of the class. Like, I hated it. Like, you know, anything I knew, like, when it comes to reading, all my reading skills would just go out the window. But we all know that one person that would get picked for reading. It would be like, So I was never that bad, but I was just like, it just made me hella nervous doing it. I think everyone hates reading out loud in school.
All right, that's enough, Eric. Shut the fuck up. Rupert, it's your turn to read. Read, Rupert, read. Oh shit. Rupert, were you fucking off and not paying attention? No, I know where we're at. Hold on a second. Rupert.
I can't lie, what I used to do in school, innit? Like, I used to, like, I wasn't, like, when I wasn't reading, like, I'd have the book open, and I'd just be, like, looking at it, but I wouldn't really be, like, reading it. I'd just be listening out to when people are flipping pages, because, what the teachers used to do. And I think that's just what happens in most schools. They used to pick a new person to read, and it would always be, like, at the start of a page, after the first sentence finishes. So I just listen out to when pages are being flipped, you know, just look around, you get me, and then flip pages accordingly whilst not really paying attention. So then, in case I get called out, I just start reading from the top.
You are fucking with my emotions right now. Even though dial-up sucks ass, no, Rupert, that's not where we're at. Stand the fuck up. Stand up right now. Everybody take a look at Rupert's not following along ass.
Bro, I feel like, you know, I feel like in today's day and age in school, this is how that would go. Rupert, stand up. No. That's exactly how it would go.
What a fucking piece of shit, am I right? And that was just like a regular thing that we'd do. Just a little public humiliation at 9:30 in the morning.
Like, you cannot tell me someone in school now is standing up. They'd be like, respectively, miss, I'm not fucking standing up.
Morning, no big deal. Now, another thing that I remember doing a lot back in my day was putting my goddamn head down. Now, I don't know about you guys, but every now and then my entire class would turn into loud, obnoxious assholes, and my teacher would have a fucking meltdown and make us all put our heads down. All right, everybody, let's calm down. We're about to take our geography test. All right, fucking, that's it. Lights off. Put your heads down. Put your goddamn heads down.
You know what? I can't lie. If I was putting my head down, because I've done this on an accent before in school. If I was putting my head down, you know, the second I put it down, I'm straight. You know, I'm straight passing. I'm straight going to sleep.
You bunch of wild animals. What do you think this is, a fucking Kmart? Now you guys will sit there quietly and watch me smoke this Newport menthol, and then we're gonna do this goddamn geography test. You hear me? Then we just sit there.
Yo, no way they used to be allowed to do that.
There with their heads down for an indefinite amount of time, like we're hostages in a fucking bank robbery. It'd be like kids falling asleep and shit. Ah, shit, what
That's what I'm saying. I'd be falling asleep.
happened? Are we still being loud little assholes? Now, of course, if our teacher wanted to take it up a notch, she could always option with the good old-fashioned written penalty. And those were especially popular after a heads-down incident because, well, our teacher's nerves were basically shot at that point. Somebody would, like, fucking fart during a spelling test, and she'd be like, who was that? Who the
You know what I remember? You know where you have to, like, I only had this in primary school. I never had this during secondary, but you know when you'd have to write and you'd have to write like 50 lines of I will not misbehave or something like that. I will not misbehave. I will not misbehave. What I used to do is I used to just go www and be I and I'd be doing that all the way down, you know.
The fuck is trying to take a shit in my classroom? I'm sorry, Mrs. Sanders, it was burrito day at lunch. You get your ass to the chalkboard, and I want you to write, I will not shit in class 500 times.
Exactly what I was talking about. Exactly what I was on about.
And then we just continue on with our spelling test like nothing even happened, while Rupert's ass is over by the dusty-ass Windows 95 serving his punishment. All right, the next word is aardvark. Arthur the aardvark is a pussy. Aardvark. You keep writing those lines, Rupert, or I'm gonna break my foot off in your ass, you hear me? All right, shit, goddamn. Now, of course, the granddaddy of all school punishments was getting sent down to the principal's office. And one of the dumbest reasons I've seen a kid get sent...
Oh, I used to hate that, you know when you're walking up to the office, you're like, oh no, I'm cooked, oh, what am I gonna do, yo, you know, I used to hate that.
And down to the office was for calling our teacher by her first name. Now, this was apparently a huge...
I can't lie, yeah. Teachers, why are teachers so, like, maybe it's just, you know, just sign of respect, but teachers are so strict about, oh, you can't use our first names as if they're some, like, secretive, like, secret agent, you get what I mean?
Huge deal to everybody back in the day. It's not like it is now, where a kid can be like, hey, Rick, can I sharpen my pencil? What the fuck? No, to us,
I don't know, at least in my school, it just wasn't okay when I went.
our teacher's first name was like this giant mystery. We didn't even know if they had a first name in the first place. Well, imagine our surprise one day when we're standing in line at lunch and we see a paper taped up on the wall that has all of our teacher's first and last names printed on it. Well, this blew our little fucking minds at the time, that's for sure. Holy hell, Mrs. Sanders' first name is fucking Becky? Now, I don't know what possessed this kid to think it was a great idea to address our teacher by her first name, but it didn't go too...
I can't lie, I think we've all done that at some point. You know, there's been a teacher that, you know, most of the teachers you just don't call by their first name, but there's that one teacher that you just pest that, you know, just first name, you know, you get me, just Joe. No, you can't call me that, Joe. You get me?
Too well, needless to say. Excuse me, Becky? May I use the restroom? You better get the fuck out of my classroom right now. What? I am Mrs. Sanders. I don't know who the fuck a Becky is, but I am Mrs. Sanders. Now go down to the principal's office before I huck a shoe at your little insolent ass. Now our school principal was like every school principal in America. She was a mean-ass lady that had a man's first name as her last name. That's how it was in the 90s. I'm not sure why. But chances are you're sitting there and your fucking principal was named Mrs. Henry or Mrs. Gregory or fucking Mrs. Bob. All right, not that one. That one's stupid.
Chug life.
Anyways, our principal's name was Mrs. Joseph, and she did not fuck around. And when you're in Mrs. Joseph's office, well, you knew your ass was gonna get detention, and you knew her ass was gonna call your parents at some point and be like, "Hey, it's Mrs. Joseph from your kid."
Yeah, you know, oh, you know what's the most annoying shit? You know what's the most annoying stuff? When they pull some bullshit when they're calling your parents, yeah? When they pull some, oh my god. I remember once, I was getting heated, yeah, because I was getting vexed in this class because people were just annoying me. And I was like, you know what? I've had a few incidents this week, you know. This term, I had like it was a bad time for me. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to take the initiative and I'm going to go downstairs. I'm going to remove myself from the situation because we had like a pastoral, like where you just go down if you need like 5 minutes out. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to take 5 minutes out, you know. Don't want to cause disruption. Don't want to, you know, because I'm about to explode. Like I was fuming. And I get a phone. Imagine my surprise later on when I get a phone call home going, oh yeah, a foes has been running around the school all day, going into other classes, causing a disruption. I was like, what? Huh? And it's like, I swear to God, they exaggerate. Like, it was always the same teacher that always used to exaggerate everything just out of proportion. I'm like, what? It's the stupidest thing. When your parents believe that bullshit.
Kid school. Hey, did you know your kid's been a little fucking asshole all day long? Yeah, it sucks ass. Can you hit him with a paddle? Maybe burn him with a cigarette? I don't fucking know. That's how I was raised. But the worst thing that she'd make you do is she'd make you go down to the lunchroom and help the lunch ladies clean up. And I have to say, our lunch ladies were massive fucking scary ass lunch ladies. That shit would turn into a scared straight program pretty goddamn quick, let me tell you.
What the hell are you down here for?
I farted during a spelling test.
Oh, so you're a big tough guy now, huh? Well, hold my inside-out pocket, you little bitch. We're gonna mop the lunchroom.
Oh, God, she's so hairy and strong. But hey, whatever. It deterred us from making a ruckus, and we fucking held our farts in while we were taking our spelling test, all right? So in the end, I suppose I should be thankful for going to school in the 90s. I think I was right there in the Goldilocks zone of school discipline, if you will. I mean, we weren't on one end of the spectrum where teachers talk to you like they're a fucking Teletubby, and we didn't have teachers knocking over bookshelves on top of us and shit. The end.
BruceDude.com.
Yeah, you know what? W video, man. W video. Okay. Yeah. I can't lie. It's a bit different. Like some of these apply to when I was going to school, but I feel like I was kind of in between this on this video and between like modern school, like right now, you get what I mean? Because like towards the end of it, it was a bit more like, you know, but when I was first going primary, you get me, I felt the heat then. But anyways, you know, it's been a good episode. Make sure if you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, drop a